So have you ever been there, that feeling? You get this amazing new TV, right? 4K, HDR, all the bells and whistles. Picture looks incredible.
Oh, yeah, totally. The visuals are just stunning these days.
Exactly. But then you look over at your sound system, maybe your AV receiver or your soundbar, and it's great. You love it, but it's, well, maybe a few years old.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't have that very latest HDMI port, maybe.
Right. And you start thinking, how on earth do I get the best possible sound? You know, like Dolby Atmos, maybe, from this brand new TV onto this audio gear.
It suddenly feels like this tangled web of cables and specs you don't quite recognize.
Yeah, it's confusing. Like, are they even compatible? Am I losing quality somewhere?
It's a real issue,
Yeah.
a genuine tech headache. You know, video tech races ahead, 4K, HDR, faster refresh rates. But getting that top-tier uncompressed audio signal from the TV back to the sound system, that can be the tricky part,
Yeah.
especially if the receiver's lagging a generation behind.
You just want it all to work together seamlessly, right?
Right.
Without sacrificing the picture or the sound.
Precisely.
Well, today we're going to dive into a really interesting bit of kit that promises to fix a lot of that complexity.
Okay.
We're looking at the WolfPack 4K 60 HDR HDMI eARC Extractor. Quite a name, but basically it's a device designed specifically to bridge that gap we were just talking about.
Ah, so it helps an older sound system understand the newer TV's audio signals.
Kind of. It helps route the audio correctly. It connects your TV's advanced audio output, like eARC, to your existing AV receiver or soundbar, even if it doesn't have eARC.
That's interesting, because often the alternative is what? A whole new receiver? Which is expensive.
Exactly. This is about making your current gear work optimally with the new stuff. It preserves that investment.
A surgical solution, like you
Yeah.
said.
So our mission today is to unpack what this little box actually does, how it manages it, and really why it might be a bit of a game changer for your setup. You know, getting you that high quality experience without needing a degree in engineering.
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the core problem it solves is audio extraction. Let's paint that picture again. New TV supports eARC Enhanced Audio Return Channel.
Right. The high bandwidth one for Atmos and DTS-X.
Yep. But your receiver, maybe it only has the older ARC, or maybe no ARC input free, or maybe you just want the cleanest possible audio path separate from the video.
And that's where you hit a wall, performance-wise.
Often, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where people really notice a drop in quality?
Absolutely. The classic example is you fire up Netflix on your new TV, it says Dolby Atmos, but your receiver only gets like standard Dolby Digital 5.1 because it's coming over regular ARC.
So you're losing that height information, that immersion.
You're losing the good stuff. Or sometimes you might get audio dropouts or just nothing. Handshake issues between the devices.
Yeah.
Or yeah, like you said, some people just prefer separating audio and video paths entirely. Keep the signals clean.
Okay, so this WolfPack extractor comes in specifically for that. Its main job,
Yeah.
take the HDMI audio from your TV's ARC or eARC port and send it straight to your audio system, bypassing those potential roadblocks, what's usually the trigger. The moment someone thinks, okay, I actually need something like this.
It's usually that frustration, isn't it? Knowing your TV and the streaming service can do Atmos, but your speakers aren't getting it. That's the big one. Or maybe lip sync issues creeping in.
Right, or just wanting the absolute best.
Exactly. For the purists, it's ensuring nothing compromises that audio signal.
And the key feature, the heart of it, is that dedicated HDMI output for extracting audio only. It's labeled OUT2.
So it's not just splitting the signal, it's specifically outputting just the audio.
That's the idea. It takes the audio stream coming back from the TV via eARC and sends only that out of its OUT2 port intended for your receiver's input.
Okay, so you're not relying on, say, an optical cable, which often can't handle the bandwidth for Atmos or DTS-X anyway.
Exactly. You're keeping it all in the HDMI ecosystem, preserving that digital quality for the high-res audio formats.
Makes sense. Maintain the fidelity.
Now, you mentioned earlier sometimes these audio gadgets can mess with the video, but this WolfPack device, it seems to handle video pretty seriously too.
Yeah, that's crucial. It's not just an audio extractor. It's designed as a pass-through for high-quality video as well. We're talking full 4K at 60 frames per second.
Okay.
And importantly, with 4.4.4 chroma subsampling.
Oh, okay. Break that down a bit. 4.4.4, why does that matter?
So basically it means full color information for every pixel. Cheaper signals like 4.2.0 compress the color data to save bandwidth. For movies, maybe you don't notice much, but for like PC use, gaming, sharp text on screen, 4.4.4 keeps it perfectly crisp. No color blurring or fringing.
Gotcha. So uncompromised visuals. And it supports resolutions right up to that 4K 60 Hz with 24-bit color and 4.4.4.
Yep, and it's compliant with the important standards, HDMI 2.0B and HDCP 2.3. HDMI 2.0B gives you the necessary bandwidth, 18 gigabits per second, for that 4K 60 4.4.4 signal, and for advanced HDR. And HDCP 2.3 is the latest copy protection. You need that for your 4K Blu-rays, your streaming services, basically, to make sure protected content actually plays.
Right, the digital handshake. Don't want that feeling.
No, definitely not.
And it mentions HDR support, too. HDR, HDR10, HDR10 plus Ni, even Dolby Vision pass-through. These are vital now for that really punchy, realistic picture, right? How does it handle all those different flavors of HDR?
It handles them by not handling them, if that makes sense. It's pass-through.
Okay.
So HDR, high dynamic range, gives you those brighter brights, deeper blacks, more colors, makes it look more real. Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus add dynamic metadata, so the brightness and color can adjust scene by scene.
Right.
This device just lets that entire signal video, HDR metadata, everything pass straight through from the source via its main output, OUT1, to your TV. It doesn't touch it, doesn't alter it.
So you get the full visual experience intended by the director, no compromises introduced by your audio solution.
Exactly that. The audio gets extracted separately via OUT2, while the pristine video signal continues on its way.
Okay, good. Let's circle back to the audio then, its main mission. The list of supported formats is, well, it's long. 11 different modes listed, including Dolby Atmos. That's pretty comprehensive, isn't it?
It really is. It covers the big ones, obviously Atmos and its rival DTS-X for that object-based sound moving around you, even overhead. But it also handles uncompressed multi-channel PCM, up to 7.1 channels, plus all the legacy formats you still find everywhere. Dolby Digital, Dolby Digital Plus, Dolby TrueHD, DTS, DTS-HD Master Audio. The list goes on.
So whatever fancy audio your Blu-ray player, game console, or streaming stick is putting out, this box should be able to understand it and pass it along.
Pretty much, yeah. That wide compatibility is key. It ensures your sound system gets the best possible signal the source can provide.
Now, ARC versus eARC. This is where wires get crossed for a lot of people. Quick refresher. ARC, audio return channel.
Yeah, that was the first step. Let audio come back from the TV to the receiver over the same HDMI cable that was sending video to the TV. Simplified things a bit.
Right, less cable clutter.
But
limited bandwidth.
Exactly. Limited mainly to compressed audio like Dolby Digital. Then came eARC, Enhanced Audio Return Channel.
And the enhancement is basically more bandwidth.
A lot more bandwidth. Yeah. Enough for the uncompressed high-resolution formats like Dolby Atmos in its TrueHD form and DTS-X. That's the big deal with eARC.
Okay, so here's the crucial bit about the WolfPack extractor. It passes through either eARC or ARC, depending on what your TV has.
Right.
But it doesn't convert ARC to eARC. That's a really important distinction, right?
Absolutely vital. You need to manage expectations. This device won't magically give your old ARC-only TV the ability to send uncompressed Atmos.
Right.
What it does do is intelligently handle whichever signal your TV can send via its ARC or eARC port and make sure that signal gets routed cleanly to your audio system via that dedicated OUT2 port.
So it works with what your TV provides. It's a smart intermediary, not an upgrader for the ARC channel itself.
Precisely.
And there's that physical switch on it, the eARC ONOF switch. You mentioned OUT2 is the dedicated audio output. How does the switch affect that?
So if you set the switch to ON, that OUT2 port outputs whatever audio is coming back from the TV, whether it's eARC or ARC audio. That's probably the most common use case, right? Getting audio from your TV's built-in apps.
Okay, makes sense. What about OF?
If you set it to OF, then the OUT2 audio port outputs the audio signal from whatever device is plugged into the extractor's main HDMI on port.
Ah, so you could have, say, a 4K Blu-ray player connected to the extractor's input.
Right.
And if you flick the switch to OFF, the audio from the Blu-ray player goes straight out of OUT2 to your receiver, while the video still goes through OUT1 to the TV.
Exactly. It gives you flexibility depending on your sources and how you want to route things. Maybe you trust the audio directly from your player more, or maybe you have a specific setup reason. It just gives you that choice.
That is clever. It adapts. Okay, let's talk practical setup. Visualizing this helps. The FAQs give an example. How does it typically slot into a system?
Yeah, the typical flow they suggest is source device, like your Blu-ray player or console, plugs into the WolfPack's HDMI IN.
Okay.
Then the WolfPack's main HDMI OUT1, goes to a normal HDMI input on your TV.
Got it. Video sorted, now the audio return.
Right. You then connect an HDMI cable from your TV's dedicated IRC or eARC port back to the WolfPack's port labeled eARC.
Ah, okay, so there's a loop back from the TV for its audio.
Exactly. And then you connect the WolfPack's dedicated audio OUT2 port to a standard HDMI input on your AV receiver or soundbar.
Wow, okay, so the extractor kind of sits in the middle, managing both the video going to the TV and the audio coming back from the TV.
Precisely. It becomes the traffic cop for those signals, ensuring the high-res audio from the TV gets diverted to the sound system correctly.
And seeing that diagram really helps clarify it. It also confirms it works with TVs that only have ARC, not the enhanced version.
Yeah, which is great. It means people with slightly older but still good 4K TVs aren't left out. You'll still be limited by ARC's bandwidth, of course, but the extractor will handle the connection cleanly.
And it works with 4K 30Hz sources too, so older 4K gear is fine with that flexibility again.
It really seems built to handle those mixed generation setups that so many of us have.
And speaking of making life easier, CEC support, Consumer Electronics Control.
Ah, yes. The dream of one remote to rule them all, or at least fewer remotes.
Yeah. It's genuinely useful though, right? Being able to use your TV remote to control the volume or mute your connected soundbar or receiver, that cuts down on juggling remotes significantly.
It's a huge quality of life win. It makes the whole system feel more integrated, less clunky to use day to day. Simple things like power on-off syncing too.
Definitely. Now, it also mentions some internal tech, equalizer, retiming, and driver functions for stable performance. What do those actually do to prevent, those annoying signal drops or picture flashes you sometimes get with HDMI?
Right. Those are like the hidden guardians of signal integrity. HDMI signals, especially high bandwidth ones, can be finicky over distance or through multiple devices. So the equalizer helps compensate for signal loss over the cable length, boosting frequencies that might get weakened. Retiming basically cleans up the signal's timing, making sure the digital data bits arrive perfectly synchronized, jitter reduction, essentially.
Okay.
And the driver functions ensure the signal is strong enough to make it reliably to the next device. Think of them as ensuring the signal arrives loud and clear and perfectly on beat.
So they work together to prevent those glitches and maintain a solid connection. That's reassuring for complex setups.
Definitely. And there's that little detail about the audio-only output, OT2, having a 720p black screen.
Yeah, what's that about?
It's just a neat trick. Instead of sending no video signal, which can confuse some AV receivers or TVs connected to it, it sends a very basic, low-resolution black screen signal along with the audio.
So the receiver thinks it's getting a valid HDMI signal and doesn't throw an error or take ages to lock on.
Exactly. It keeps the HDMI handshake happy and stable, even though you only care about the audio on that connection. Smart little detail.
It really is. And the physical device itself, tiny.
Yeah, the specs say 65 by 70 by 27 millimeters. That's smaller than a deck of cards almost. Weighs next to nothing, 83 grams.
So it's easy to just tuck away behind the TV or receiver. It's not another bulky box.
Not at all. And USB power too, 5 volts, 500 milliamps.
Which means you can probably power it from a spare USB port on your TV or receiver itself.
Yeah.
No need for yet another power brick plugged into the wall.
Often, yes. That makes installation much cleaner. Super convenient.
So simple connectivity too. One HDMI in, two HDMI out, one main, one audio only, straightforward.
Simple on the outside, clever on the inside.
Okay, so let's boil it down. The so what for your home theater. Who really benefits from this $50 device?
I mean, it seems tailor-made for anyone who's just upgraded their TV, got that shiny new 4K HDR model with eARC, but wants to keep using their existing AV receiver or soundbar, which might be perfectly good, maybe even high-end, but just lacks that eARC input.
Right. You want the Atmos from your TV apps, but your receiver can only take it via a standard HDMI input, not via ARC.
This bridges that gap.
Yeah.
It lets you extract the eARC audio and feed it into a standard HDMI input on your receiver. It's about avoiding that forced, expensive upgrade of your entire audio chain just because of one connection standard.
It maximizes the potential of the gear you already own for a pretty modest cost. $50 to potentially save hundreds, maybe thousands on a new receiver. That's a compelling value proposition.
Absolutely. It solves a specific, common, and frustrating problem in a very elegant and affordable way. Ensures you get the cutting-edge visuals and the immersive audio you paid for.
So wrapping up this deep dive, the WolfPack 4K 60 HDR HDMI eARC extractor really acts like a smart translator or maybe a traffic controller for your home theater signals.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
It carefully handles the advanced video 4K, 60 Hz, HDR, Dolby Vision, passing it through untouched to your display. And crucially, it extracts the high-fidelity audio coming back from your TV via eARC or ARC, including Atmos and DTS-X, and routes it cleanly to your existing sound system.
Ensuring all your components, new and slightly older, can finally play nicely together, harmoniously.
It's a small box, solves a big problem, and surprisingly affordable. It unlocks that full audio potential that might otherwise be trapped inside your TV.
It really does seem like a neat solution.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over. As TV tech and audio formats keep leaping forward, often bringing new connection standards with them, how do you plan to keep your system adaptable?
Right. How do you balance wanting the latest features with, the investment you've already made in good quality gear? Are targeted solutions like this Extractor the key to navigating future upgrades without replacing everything every few years? Something to think about for your own setup.